Everyone, it's time to go out in the Arctic tundra, and Marty's been out one time, but he thinks he wants to go again. All right, bud, he might have to use the bathroom again. We'll see. Boys, hi. Morris, come here, honey. Morris, come here, honey. Now, I can put it over there too. In the summertime, there are less ants on the platform. So, I don't really... Marty! Did you see him swap Morris? For no reason. There you go, buddy. Mama loves you. I love you too. Oh, I sparked him. He ducked because there was a spark. Oh, there we go. Marty, you had your own food in the house, honey. Yeah, we got down to 22. At least that's what I saw at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Yeah, someone is at the O heat on the aux heat. She can't say aux, she says O. That means the heat strips are running this morning. Or it's taking a defrost cycle, the heat pump. Hi. Yes, it's cold, bud. Yep, it's quite crisp. I have stung my fingers and cleaned out all the ice from the water. Well, there wasn't any ice in the bird bath down there, but in the backyard, the cat bowls there was. And put fresh water out and fresh suet and fresh seed and a fresh corn log and straightened some flags that were starting to come off of the metal holder things because of all the wind we've been having. We're going to try to go to the gym, but Don's got lots of meetings again, so it'll be whenever he can get away from meetings. Well, boy, am I glad for the sun we've got today. Otherwise, it would be miserable out here. Marty was up the hill laying in the sun with Morris for about 90 minutes, and he just asked to go back in the house. It's a little after 12, and Don and I are headed to the gym. He's got a 3 o'clock, so we got to make sure we're back in time. 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. Well, I've basically convinced myself now that I'm having a mild cluster migraine thing going on, and that's where the pain on the bridge of my nose and above my eyes a little bit is coming from. And yes, I talked to Grok about it, and yes, robots driving here and saw that car and stopped. Yeah, it's helpful. Some of these cars have their lights on coming over that hill. Not everybody does. Someday, but not yet. Don's saying there's cars in the other direction too. Alright, she's good now. Yep, this way's good. Anyway, I was clear of pain until all day yesterday till last night. It started to come back, so I took something. And then I was clear until 11:30 this morning, and then it started to come back, so I took something. I'm done with worrying over it, so I'm trying to get it to stay away. The worry is worse than the pain. I've had headaches, extended headaches in the past. Mine are never so severe they cause you to go lie down and get in bed and not do anything for the rest of the day. But mine go on for a really long time sometimes, and days of less discomfort, and that can be really draining too. So just looking at the pretty Teslas before we go inside. We're doing the pogo loop, of course, and here's another Tesla newer Model 3. So there's the Go Raleigh on-demand little bus.
Yeah.
We no longer have full bus service down here with the FRV big bus. But now if you schedule it, that bus will come pick you up. So more buses, smaller buses, better flexibility, but no dedicated times. I don't know how it's really working out, and I have no idea if it's really better, but we just did see a gentleman get on the bus, so he must have figured out how to schedule it. We're both just ecstatic to go inside and work out today. Ecstatic. It's a good thing all those people on X keep on telling us that lifting weights is vital in old age.
Better not be wrong.
Don likes Dr. Lufkin, and he drives a Tesla now.
Yeah.
And he reminds us quite frequently that some resistance training, aka lifting weights in old age, is really good for you for a number of reasons. And you know, I just want to stay out of the nursing home, so therefore I come and I put in the effort. They're probably going to play basketball for a minute. Guys, I was going to say, guys, it's a little cold today. Maybe we could play basketball inside instead of outside. Well, it's not so much cold. I mean, it is cold, but it's the wind. It looks deceptively nice out here with the sun and the blue sky. Well, we're home from the gym, and I'm headed to town to run an errand or two. And Marty wanted back outside. He loves the morning and afternoon sun, so I'm letting him get some sunshine. I asked Grok today if cats lay in the sun to make vitamin D like people. And he said, no, not really. Like, they might get a really super small amount of vitamin D out in the sun, but no, not really. They don't make vitamin D the way humans do. They don't rely on it. And he said they get it from the food they eat. Basically, the liver of any animal they would kill. So, a vole, a mouse, a squirrel, or their cat food. Because I always wondered why the cats don't really mess with the wildlife too often, but every once in a while they do. And I always figured it was because all of a sudden they felt like they needed something from the wild animal. And, yeah, typically they would get it from prey, the liver of their prey. So that was interesting to me. Some of you might have noticed that I've put up a picture or a video of a black-capped or Carolina chickadee at the end of, beginning or end of the video. Depends if we're talking picture or video. I'm driving right now. That has a leg that's not fully extended. Like, he's on one leg all the time. We affectionately call him Pete. I was asking Grok how long you see they've coated the road for Sunday. Wow, I didn't notice this when we came home a bit ago. We really only been at the house about 30 minutes. Not happy about driving on this if it's not all the way dry. I don't want that crap on my car, so I'm turning off into the neighborhood. It did seem a little bit wet back there. Really don't want it on my car. But that is in advance of Sunday's possible snow flurries. We don't mess around here. Actually, we do, but I was being funny. Anyway, I don't know if he has an injury, a congenital defect, or one of 3 or 4 possible birdie things that could have happened disease-wise, or that, could have happened to a chickadee. Grok gave me the rundown on all of the possibilities, and I'm not going to know, but we agree that he's or she is doing really great out there, eating, drinking, flying, And whatever's going on, there's nothing that I could do to improve upon it except continue to supply the fresh water and the food. So anyway, it's kind of neat. I mean, I'm sorry that he doesn't seem to be struggling. He just deals with it and he does his thing that he can do. But, you know, obviously I feel a little bit bad for him. I wish he wasn't, you know, having to struggle a little bit. But it's kind of neat to have a bird that looks different enough from the other birds that I can actually get attached to him and know that he's him because of the leg thing. Like, oh, there's Pete. You know, it's kind of neat because most of the birds, I don't have any idea. I can't tell one male northern cardinal from another except during molting season. You know, they're missing some feathers last year, pretty significantly missing feathers. Looked like they were sick, but they weren't. Grok had explained that to me too, even though I've bird watched for forever. The really up-close cameras I'm using now are allowing me to see a lot more detail than I would have generally seen before from a distance. So I didn't really know about the molting, so I had to learn about that. Yeah, I went in and looked on my Grok history today, and I'm using Grok 5 or 6 times a day with questions. I asked him last night that something trivial. What is that thing in the corner of my new Lego modular building? You know, over there. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is it a lathe? And it turns out it's a duck, and it's a Easter egg tie-in back to one of the original Lego sets that had you build the little duck. It kind of also has wheels on it. Ducks don't usually have wheels, but it's kind of like the telephone from when I was a little kid, the puppy dog that you would pull around behind you. You know, it was a telephone, but it had wheels and it had a string on it. Kind of like that. Anyway, so sometimes it's really fun, trivial stuff. And sometimes it's more, you know, deeper understanding. I find it useful to me. I understand some folks are leery, don't like it, don't find it useful to them. I just try to use it like it's FSD. I want to help make it better. I mean, I used to Google all this stuff. I was just Googling, getting a search results list, picking the articles that I wanted to read, reading 3 or 4 of the articles. So surely it took more time, 10 minutes more per inquiry at least, to try to decide what to read. I mean, I speed read pretty fast, so I can, you know, read it and kind of get a summary really quick. Like I was wanting to relay something to Don a while ago, and I'm like, just let me read it and then I'll sum it for you. So in 2 or 3 minutes, I kind of speed read it, and then I told him what it said. But I was always doing this. I just do it with Grok now, but I used to do it with Google, and Google used to take a lot more time than Grok takes. Grok, you know, is giving me more, you know, already has, it's kind of like telling somebody to go out, you give it your news preferences, your topics you want news on. Like for me, I would say Legos and Japanese maples and cats and birds in North Carolina, you know, and this thing would go out and would, you know, then serve up news articles on these topics of interest to me. Well, all, you know, Grok is doing is procuring or brokering some news sites. Anyway, I feel like I'm learning stuff. Is it 100% right? Well, it's no worse than when I used to go out and read Wikipedia all the time. I found that I'm not using Grokopedia, and the reason why I'm not, and I'm not using Wikipedia anymore either, and the reason why I'm not is that I just talk to Grok. I just ask Grok. I don't need to Grokopedia a subject. Now, maybe it would be more environmentally friendly to do Grokopedia. I don't know. Surely Grok himself will be using Grokopedia. You know, tell me everything I want to know about Elon Musk. I'm sure there's got to be a biography out there for Elon, and that Grok would utilize that as well as other sources on the internet. But maybe I'll find a reason to do Grokkopedia more. The main reason why I use Wikipedia is entertainment stuff. Don and I will be watching TV at night, and we're old, and we want to know what else that actor, we remember that actor from, where they were, and we look stuff up just for fun. It's just part of our TV thing. It kind of drives the kids nuts because they, but Don and I like to gain additional enjoyment out of watching the TV show by doing that. So anyway, I served up Don some salmon and cheese and beef stick and pepperoni as a little snack this afternoon, and I am actually headed to a new, I think it's called the Meat Shop. We'll see what the sign out front is. It's in the new shopping center behind the Walmart. I've never been in there for anything. Since I'm from, New Jersey, I would call it a butcher shop. It's a butcher shop, but they also sell Homestead Creamery products, and they sell a lot of cheeses. I'm going to assume some of them are raw, and special condiments and things, but they make their own sausage there and stuff, so I have no idea how expensive it is. I'm worried it's expensive. It can't be any more expensive than Whole Foods, and I want to visit it because I want to support local businesses, and I want to support a place that is primarily focused on having quality meats, and I'm just curious. And then I'm probably going to go into Harris Teeter and get a couple of porterhouse steaks because that's what's on sale this week. So that's what's going on. I suppose there's a chance I'll go into the dollar store or Walmart. We'll see. With Dawn working on the printer tomorrow and that being the focus, I don't know how much we'll be bopping around town. I obviously love it when Dawn takes me and drops me off and lets me go in, but I also like driving Ruby around. I hate it I missed my time with Michelle this week. But it is what it is. Ariel has been doing a lot of sleeping, and she started an antibiotic for a sinus infection, which hopefully will have her feeling better soonish. These young people tend to get better quick, so hopefully that'll be the case. Okay, so this is called Bengal Town Center, and for future reference, it's the third left after passing Walmart, and the meat shop, or the meat house, the meat house is the name of this place, and it's right over on my left there in this building. Well, they had the cream, it's this color cap. They also had the milk, and they sell some alcohol in there, and I have not tried Flat Rock Mango Madness. I've had the black cherry, the purple can. They also do cider. So I thought, well, I'll give this a try. I wanted to buy something in there. I talked to the gentleman at the register, an older gentleman. I don't know if he works for them or if he's one of the owners. I don't know. But he learned a few things about the cream because I might have spewed off a couple of things. He was asking why A2A2 and lactose intolerance and some other things. I gave him my ice cream recipe. They had the eggnog in there at Christmas time, but of course Homestead stopped making that now. They did have their chocolate milk and their orange drink or something. Everything's not healthy that comes out of up there, but the cream is no emulsifiers, just pasteurized, not ultra pasteurized, and it has the potential to be for people that are lactose intolerant, which is not me, but is Michelle, which is why I told her and Ariel should try it. Has potential to be less upsetting and let them enjoy the milk or whatever. I didn't leave with any meat, and I'm not going to make any other comments, but if I left with no meat, that's probably not a good sign for them, considering the amount of meat we eat and the amount of meat that I buy. And the cream is more expensive than at Whole Foods, but I wanted to patronize them. I made the effort to drive over here and stop in, and they're a small business trying to get started. I wish them well. They did have a little bit of produce and some sauces, and I mean, you could go in there and get everything you needed to make a meal, even for the standard, well, the non-carnivore family, right? There was enough side dishes or whatever in there, enough sauces and seasonings and things like that. You could go in there and get everything you needed. So anyway, I'm headed to Harris Teeter now. Sorry I didn't buy any meat in there, but I didn't buy any meat in there. They had 3 employees in there, and I was the only customer for the 10 minutes that I was inside. Their website is not finished yet. Has this really great video that kind of ropes you in, but no cuts of meat, published prices, available to order and have it ready for pickup later in the day. I mean, they may need to get somebody to help get the word out more and help them make sure that people know what they've got. With 3 people sitting around in there, I mean, I'm sure there's busier times in the morning when they're prepping some of the things that they are going to put out for the day to sell. But I would think that that people ordering online and then stopping in to pick up their order, I would think they would have enough that they would be able to fulfill the order thing. Maybe it doesn't make sense to put the entire inventory online if it's going to change over a lot, because that would be a lot of work to keep the website up to date. But maybe it is going to stay, you know, pretty much how it is. I don't know. I don't think taking a picture and copy and pasting a label or something is that much effort for website updating if you're, you know, good at the computer and that's what you do. But I think they got to get the word out better that they're back in that little shopping center and what they have, and somehow have competitive prices with places like, you know, Harris Teeter, Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, stuff like that. It's the closest thing in town we had to a little custom shop. There's a place I pass coming home from Whole Foods all the time in Holly Springs, and I hear that might be a place to check out. And then maybe even better than that, if I'm willing to drive down to Anger, I've heard that there's a meat marketplace down in Anger that people talk about being really good. So I probably really want to check out the place in Anger. That would be sort of southeast. Wow, there is just no parking up on the UPS end today in the shopping center. None. It just... So I'm going to go down on the other side. He's got a stop sign. Okay. There's a disabled vehicle and a tow truck and a really, I don't know that it was an accident, but a very, an older person that just looked like they were having a hard time getting out of the vehicle so the tow truck driver could take it off, and there's no room to go around stuff back there, and this is basically the normal Harris Teeter parking lot disaster. And back there where I stopped at the yellow light, which was borderline, I'll admit, the guy behind me intended to run the red light, and I had to pull up a little more forward because he was, you know, in a rush, and he gave me some gestures that I stopped, and, you know, it's great. But it is Friday, it's 3 o'clock, right? It's time to be all weekendy out here or something. Yeah, I said I don't want Harris Teeter to move up there by the Target because it would be more stoplights and farther. But you know what? To get out of this parking lot, maybe I want Harris Teeter to move up into the into the Target shopping center. Because this parking lot just ain't cutting it for me. As I was pulling through to park where this white Outback is, the Outback came flying around the corner and slung themselves into the spot. So I backed up, sighed to myself, and waited for her to walk in. Not the end of the world. I don't like backing out if I don't have to. So I didn't see her, and she was determined she was going to have that spot. Fine. It's my fault for coming to town on Friday afternoon. But really, in Fuquay, it's my fault for coming to town. Well, since I'm on this side now, I'm getting a little extra exercise, I'm going to check out the Dollar Tree. Why not? Well, I had to look through basically every T-bone and porterhouse they had to find 2 decent steaks. Very unusual for Harris Teeter for them to look as bad as they did today. And they had, surprisingly, that, well, I guess it's always the same price in there for porterhouse or T-bone. Me, I want the big tenderloin, and I'm willing to pay more for more weight. But anyway, they had some marked porterhouse and they were not porterhouse. I mean, I guess they were just having that much trouble today with stuff. That's all I bought in there. I walked around the store. I wanted some vanilla K-cups and they didn't have any I was willing to buy. So I said no and didn't buy them. I can't get the ones, organic ones I've been getting on Amazon anymore. They am not carrying them, which sucked because I don't know how many were in the box. Probably like 40 or 50 at a time. It was very economical and convenient. Well, just so you know, the dash cam viewer won't launch when your foot is on the brake, even if you're still in park, which is something that might happen to an ex-person because you know, we put our foot on the brake to close the door. And I was getting ready to leave. I don't know why she did that, but okay. Well, I decided not to go into Walmart. I had enough fun. I drove past the garden center and I'm looking for them to get the spring stuff out there, specifically the garden trellises, the black wrought iron stuff, and I didn't see it out there. And if they don't have that, then it wasn't worth me walking in. I might would have enjoyed walking around anyway, but nah, I had enough fun. I gotta finish yesterday's video. I'm only about halfway through editing, and I want to work on my Lego, and then I gotta cook dinner. So that's enough. So I had asked, you know, Grok, why is the price of beef so high all of a sudden? And basically he said it was a classic case of supply and demand. The national herd is incredibly low and there's a lot of people wanting beef. Well, Don was worried that, you know, we would teach people to eat whole foods and then we'd have, you know, it would it would increase the cost of us eating real food, and that's happened a little bit. He also said that the beef coming out of Mexico, there was concern about, is it screwworm contamination? I think so. I know I'm a big proponent of country of origin labeling, and I don't mean where the stuff is packed. I mean where the steer grew up and was slaughtered. I want 100% on American soil, or I want it labeled where it came from. Because I buy pork out of Canada, thinking that, you know, they ship in some organic pork that could be a good source of pork. When you live in North Carolina and you've heard horror stories about the pork, factory farmed pork here, you don't eat it. Or you don't eat it if you have a choice, or you don't eat it if you have a better choice. So, I don't know. Was it Venezuela that President Trump talked about bringing some beef in from? I mean, I really don't want that to happen. I guess at this point, based on how expensive beef has gotten all of a sudden, I'm willing for that to happen for a short term, as long as we're providing appropriate checks on it, so that we're sure it's safe for us to eat, and also that we're doing things to help rebuild our own national herd, so that, you know, we have farmers, ranchers, we have people properly, let's just say, not penalized for being a rancher. I know that there was a bill recently introduced that would allow the slaughter to happen, the butchering to be done someplace other than the only 4 places in the country where it's allowed and certified. I guess, in other words, if a farmer wants to do it on his own ranch and sell it to his neighbor, he's not in trouble anymore. Something along those lines. I don't have the bill number handy, but I support that. I think people ought to be able to buy their food from their local farmer without the local farmer being forced to become corporate. You know, you got a choice. You can buy there or not. If I have to tolerate people doing certain things to their health that I don't approve of, and then us all being in the same insurance pool, I want to be able to buy milk where I want to buy milk and beef where I want to buy beef without somebody trying to tell me that I'm not allowed to do that. I think that's fair. If we can still sell alcohol and cigarettes and allow people to eat ultra-processed food and develop diabetes, and we're all sharing the same insurance pool, I don't know why she slowed down that much, but she did. Then I really want to be able to buy my milk and my beef where I want to buy it. I think it's fair. If people can get contaminated salad greens, ice cream, I'm trying to think of all the recalls I've heard about in the last year from food that went through a processing plant and was supposedly safe. Again, I ought to be able to judge for myself if my local source of milk and beef is okay or not. I want everybody to have access to safe, clean, healthy, economical food. I do have, some meat in the freezer, but lately I've been used to running into Harris Teeter to, pick up whatever beef they had on sale, and they always had something good on sale, at least once or twice a week. We used to buy a fourth of a cow at a time from a rancher over in Willow Spring. And basically the reason why we stopped doing that is because he got divorced and he stopped selling beef. And I would have to say that we were, the beef tastes different depending on what it eats when it's growing. And if you're used to buying meat at the grocery store and you go out and you get some of the beef from your local rancher, it may taste different. It may not have the same texture. So I don't know. I would say the main reason why we didn't pick another rancher was price, but it was a little bit to do with what we like the taste of too. Well, look what came in the mail for me today. When I was sick, the day after Christmas, too sick to go out and look at the after Christmas sales, our good friends Adam and Michelle in Colorado found these for me and sent them my way. I am stoked, especially the train, but I'm looking forward to this Christmas season building all of them. I am starting on bag 16, and that's going to be the third floor for this side, it looks like. Starting it anyway. So bag 16 was the third floor of this building. And then bag 17 was the bed and the chair and the table and the, radio. Nice rug work. Gate, fence, lamp, plant. Looks good. And I'm stopping for tonight.